Hi, friends. Long time no see. I was away longer than I expected to be. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't intentional. It's just been so busy and remains really busy. But I wanted to pop in for whoever feels like taking a look because I had a pretty interesting dream last night that I recorded into my phone when I woke up because I think it was maybe 5 o'clock that I woke up. So I just re listened to it, and it's funny how much you forget even over the course of a day. So I'm glad I listened to it so I can hopefully recount it pretty accurately. And then I'm going to talk about a couple other dreams that I had recently that were kind of interesting. Shay, the cat, is here with me attacking my phone, or rather the leather case. Oh, you like that, huh? Okay, so if you happen to watch Sterling Psychic Medium's video from Sunday, he mentioned, among other things, that the supposed, big alien reveal of alien existence to the people of Earth is due for 2025 or 2026. So we'll see. I have no reason to doubt it, really. I mean, with every other kind of crazy thing I've experienced and lots of other people have experienced psychically, spiritually, and supernaturally, or extraterrestrially. Extraterrestrially. Anyway, you know what I mean. Why wouldn't that be possible, right? I mean, the universe is almost 14 billion years old. For us to think that we're the first advanced life form or the most advanced would be not a great bet. So, with Sterling in mind, maybe this triggered the dream I had last night, unless maybe I was getting kind of a message. I don't recall another dream where I actually had contact with aliens, but in this one I did. I've seen alien races before, strange alien life forms in dreams before, without interacting with them. Like maybe I would just have a glimpse of something, or I'd be in deep space and get a sense of some kind of other species. But this was more direct. And actually, the dream started in a kind of spooky way. I was in the house that I grew up in the suburbs of Buffalo. Pardon me, just first whiskey of the night, only whiskey of the night, but first whiskey. So we lived in the suburbs of Buffalo when I was a kid, and in this dream, it was late at night, and then I noticed that a like a big truck, like a really big truck, came down the street and parked really close to our house across the street. But it was kind of more like one of those lift trucks, with the arms that raise and the bucket, so that the guys can do work on telephone poles or up in the air. And you see them. I mean, you see them all over the place, but you usually don't see the one parking on your street at 8 in the evening. Excuse me. And you also don't usually see 4 people get out in hard hats and orange uniforms, like jumpsuits, like workers, like crew workers, where they would be in the neon colors so that people would see them if they were coming down the street. And so these 4 people got out of the vehicle and they were coming towards our house, and it didn't strike me right. So I woke my mom up, but my brother was still asleep in his bedroom. And I said to my mom, something like, we might have trouble, so get your gun. And my mom, in the dream, just had a pistol, like a 6-shooter, that was loaded. Now, it's funny, I can't remember if my mom had a gun when we were kids, or one that she told us about anyway. My dad did. He had a 6-shooter, just for safety, I guess, that he kept in his drawer. He didn't carry it. We weren't that kind of family, and I've never owned a gun. But my mom owns a gun now. Yeah, for personal safety. My mom's packing heat, so don't mess with her. So yeah, so in the dream I said, "Mom, get your gun." So she goes and she gets the 6-shooter, and it's loaded. And then for some reason, we're in the basement of the house. And, here in the Northeast, the basements are, your foundations are pretty deep below the ground. So it wasn't a furnished basement, but we had it was fairly sizable, like the size of a large living room. And we kept a lot of stuff down there in the washer and the dryer, and seasonal things and stuff we kept under the stairs, and I don't know, old toys and old anything. There was a whole corner of old everything, and the furnace, of course, which was pretty small, as I recall, a pretty tiny furnace for our house. And anyway, we were then suddenly in the basement. I don't know if we were hiding there or if we went to retrieve the gun there, but they came in. The 4 people came in, and almost immediately they changed shape. They changed shape from being disguised as, like Department of Public Works workers, laborers, into what they really were, which was some kind of alien form. And I didn't get a good look at them, but they were smaller than us in the dream. They may have been kind of like the aliens in Close Encounters, where I think Steven Spielberg used kids as the aliens. Like, he made them small and then he gave them the big sort of stereotypical alien, gray alien heads. But yeah, their appearance wasn't entirely clear to me, but it's clear that they shapeshifted and they revealed themselves, and they were extremely friendly. They were so nice that I felt strongly, intuitively, like immediately all my fear passed, and like everything was good and we could trust them. And I have pretty good instincts as that goes. So in daily life, in real life. So then we were just sort of talking with them, and my mom brought down some food for them to try, and they tried a bunch of different things, and they liked some of it and not all of it, and they said, "Oh, this is like what we have on our planet, this thing is like this, and this thing is like this, we have similar foods, and this is very good, and thank you, and we appreciate it." And it was nice, it was very pleasant. It was a very pleasant feeling all around, which was pretty cool. And then, so at one point they asked if they could see my mom's gun, and two of the aliens, at least, I don't know about the other 2, but 2 of the 4 were female. I don't know how I know this, but I just knew that they were. And the one she took the gun, like when we gave it to her, and she moved so fast it was like impossible the way she moved. She like sort of just like turned, and she like shot at a can on the floor from across the room, and she just bullseyed it. And we just laughed because like it was so precise and like a sharpshooter, it was, and she had never held an earth gun before. And then her friend's like, "Oh, that looks fun. That looks fun. I want to try it." And then she did the exact same thing. The other female alien just took the gun and just like shot at something in the corner, and boom, just bolt. Oh, pardon my French. She friggin' bullseyed it. And again, we laughed because like I've shot a gun before, but to imagine that I would have any kind of aim is naive. And then they said, "Oh, Well, we have weapons, to like our on our planet and like our culture and stuff, but they're a bit more advanced than this weapon, and I knew they were understating that fact. Like they were almost acting as if the gun was quaint. Like, oh, look at this little, this cute little funny old gun, like this, you know, projectile that comes out of this thing with gunpowder, you know. Um, and so that was most of the dream. Um, I'm trying to think if there was an end part. I might have to go back and check my the little recording I made when I woke up. But like I said, it made me think about Sterling and his sort of prediction that aliens will reveal themselves, within the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, and if that really does happen, like it won't be a shock to a lot of the people who are kind of already dialed into the mysteries of life, but for a lot of the planet, they will be totally shocked. People will be completely shocked, and there will be all kinds of reactions and overreactions, but it will change. It would fundamentally change our understanding of ourselves. It would have to. So, I remember what I wanted to say, though, that was included in the recording that I made this morning, that Sterling has said that, I think in previous videos, that the aliens that are planning to make contact with humans, for some of us in the psychic community, they would already be reaching out to us. That we would have maybe a sense of them coming before they announce themselves broadly to mankind. So I was thinking to myself that this might have been that. It might have been a little message from our presumed alien friends. And I can't have any fear about it, really, because I don't have any fear about it, but I also can't have any fear about it because if you think about advanced species, should they exist, and in all likelihood they do, they could do anything they want to us, So for us to presume or worry is almost like meaningless. If they wanted to do something to us that was not benevolent and kind, they would have already done it, in my opinion. There would be no point. Though I was intrigued by Sterling's comment that I think, detections of that they've made with, I don't know if it's with satellites or with reconnaissance equipment, like the drones that they've dropped on Mars, but there's evidence in the soil of a nuclear event on Mars millions of years ago, because it would be recorded in the soil. And Sterling said that there was a nuclear exchange between alien races, or on Mars or over Mars, and that's not to scare anyone. It's more to say, well, it's just to marvel at how old the universe is, how young our species is, probably compared to a lot of species in the universe, and how it would be pointless to worry about any of these things because we have to assume we're being protected because we're here. And we also have to assume we're being protected because of everything that's going on in Ukraine, where many psychics have said that a nuclear event will not be permitted in Ukraine. And I believe it because nuclear events apparently can rip holes in dimensions. They can become portals of a kind or wormholes, and that's not healthy for the universe. So other advanced species have an investment in seeing that we don't destroy ourselves, both for multiple reasons, because it would be terrible for mankind to destroy itself. It would be unjust. And also because it doesn't help the rest of the universe in existence. So it seems to me highly probable, given, all of the things that have happened at that nuclear plant in Ukraine already, that alien intervention has already occurred there. That seems very likely to me. So anyway, it's a bit of a ramble, but I'm a rambling man, as you know. And actually, it ties in with two other dreams that I've had within the last month that I just didn't get a chance to record, but that I'll mention now, should you be interested. I'm going backwards to the one that I had first, which was probably 2 weeks ago. And I did dream about a nuclear event. I don't know where it happened on Earth, but I dreamt that there was some kind of nuclear detonation. And I was on a bus, and it was traveling, and it was momentarily frightening because we were sort of surrounded by smoke and you couldn't see the sky. And then once we drove a certain distance, then the smoke and the clouds started to dissipate, and then we could see the blue sky again. So my dreams are not specifically predictive, or not all the time, and I don't, again, really want anyone to worry, because I'm really not worried about it. I really feel like a major nuclear event would be prevented, but it is possible that there could be, if there's such a thing, a small nuclear event in Ukraine, and that would be an incredible tragedy, an unspeakable tragedy. But I think, if nothing else, my whatever my senses are dialing into the potential, the danger that exists, the potential that is there. That doesn't mean it's a definite. And again, I hesitate to mention it, but yet my channel is more about just telling you what I experience, and then we see what happens, you know. I mean, don't be afraid. It'll be okay. The world will not end. It's just not going to happen. We're in a reset. We're in a difficult transition, and there's a lot of, not kind forces that are trying to have their way, but they're already failing. So, but I did have that dream, so I hope it doesn't come true in any form, even a small form, because I'd rather not be right. I hope that it was simply an expression of a possibility of a danger that won't come true. So let's pray on that, pray for the best result. And then the other dream was really closer to a month ago, and I don't really remember it all that well anymore, but who cares, because it was about 4:45. What a jerk. I'm barely watching the news lately. I don't see any point in it. Exposure to the stupidity of him and so much of the GOP is just like poison. It's just noise. It's just white noise. It's not even white noise, because white noise can be pleasant. It's black noise, or whatever it is, but it's noise, and it is a distraction from what's meaningful and what matters. So I'm trusting in the psychics that all will be well, that even if it takes several months after the election for things to be sorted, that we will indeed see the Democrats prevail in both houses. I believe it. I hope you believe it too. I pray for it, and I believe it. I pray for the president and the vice president all the time. I pray for justice all the time. I pray for the most benevolent outcome all the time. And these are, simple prayers, just for the best result for the world, and for justice to emerge. So, that said, my dream about 45 had a funny tie-in with other dreams that I've had recently. If you've watched any of my recent videos, you'll know I kept dreaming about being on Saturday Night Live. Like I had joined the cast as a older performer compared to them. And I and the show was going through like a revamp, and it was becoming extremely unconventional and more strange. And so like, I was there. Well, I don't know why I was there, but I wasn't there as a singer. I was there as a performer, and I would have interactions with different cast members. Well, in this particular dream, once again, I had joined the cast of SNL, and our guest host was the former president, Mr. 45, which he, of course, was once he was once the guest host of the show before he became president. And he, gleefully humiliated himself for popularity, because that's what he does, among other things. And in the dream, it was like a writer's room, because I have read that what happens is the show is written new every week. Like when the guest host comes in, basically they meet with the guest host, and all of the cast members pitch their ideas for skits that they have. And the guest host gets to choose which sketches that have yet to be written are interesting to them based on the concepts that are pitched at them. So that's what this is. I was in on the pitch meeting, and there was a different comedian, I don't know who it was, who was saying they had a whole sketch with it was really stupid. I don't even remember that well, but I just know that like were like feet as sock puppets, and that they could talk, and just some kind of thing. And so when this other comedian in the room was describing what the sketch would be, and that it would include using people's feet as sock puppets, I acted it out on the spot, like to try to be funny. I like used my foot, and I was like, "Oh, look at me! I'm a talking foot or whatever." And 45 was to my left, but really all I could see was his head. There were just heads in the dream, like everybody. I don't mean that they were disembodied, but that's all that was represented in the dream, were people's heads around a table. And he was like, "I like that. That's funny." But he said it like in a way that was so dry and so devoid of like any kind of joy, that you knew he was just kind of saying it. He didn't even like care at all. And so I said, so he was reacting to my thing. So I said, "Well, that figures, because that was totally stupid what I just did. So it figures that you would like it." So I totally insulted him. And that's really the whole of the dream. I mean, so that amounts to a hill of beans. But it was definitely amusing, especially since I had just kept having these SNL dreams that I could not figure out, and still can't figure out why I was having them. Like, why am I joining the cast, and why is it always like the same version of the dream where like I'm the old guy compared to the young cast, and the show is completely like bizarre now. It's like it's way off the tracks. It's really like much stranger than the show is now, because I think the show is pretty tame and kind of lame. They don't take a lot of chances. So maybe this version of the show would be more up my alley, where it's a little more esoteric. Esoteric. That's a $10 word. So anyway, that's what I got. That's all I got. Those are my 3 most recent dreams. There have been a lot of other dreams that have just kind of come and gone in passing, but nothing that really sticks out. But the alien one from last night, that stuck out. That was interesting. And I thought I better do a video on that, because if that one fades, I'll have trouble recalling it. And like I said in the video, in the video, in the dream. They were so friendly. They were so nice, and it was so reassuring. So if it was a visit, then all will be well. So I hope you're well. Certainly a lot of drama out there. I discovered I can post on the community page now. YouTube says I can, even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers, and probably never will. But so you may find little missives from me on the community page from time to time. But yeah, I mentioned on the community page that I see almost no point in watching the news right now, because it's largely fear mongering. Even the outlets that are more trustworthy are playing up this idea that the GOP is going to have some kind of comeback in this election, and I just don't see it. I don't even think it'll be close. I think that between all of the election denialism, that about the legitimacy of our elections, and the Roe v. Wade, I think they're going to get crushed. I think the Democrats are going to crush them, and we will have both houses, as predicted, of Congress, and we'll get some real change, God willing. Okay, so that's all from here for now. Be well. Sorry to be away. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hit the like, subscribe, share button, thumb, share, press something. Okay, whatever, Okay, it's good. Okay, bye. Take care. See ya.